Hello everyone, and welcome to my 1-year anniversary! Yes, exactly 1 year ago, I started reviewing some of the worst comics and movies I've ever seen, and the response from my small but devoted fan base has been wonderful. And as such, I feel that I need to give you all something very special. Now, I had no idea that my review for Tentacleino would be as popular and commented on as it would eventually become. And one of the most popular comments that I get on that video is whether or not this movie is actually worse than some other movies that they mention. And to mark this auspicious occasion, I'm going to introduce a new segment simply called Which is Worse? Here, I'm going to be talking about a handful of films that my fans have commented on, and I'm going to make a brief analysis of each one and compare them to Tentacleino. Ready? Let's begin. Which is worse, Tentacleino or Twilight? Yes, I did actually read the first two books so I could be more familiar with the property because my girlfriend at the time was a big Twilight fan, and of course I had to go and take her to see the third movie. And actually, I'm probably going to get a whole lot of crap for this, but I can actually see some kind of a decent story coming out of this property. A human girl gets involved in a love triangle with a vampire and a werewolf? That by itself isn't necessarily a bad idea. Really, if you took Twilight and tweaked it a bit, fleshing out the world of the vampires and the hows and the whys of their existence and how they work, and if you make the characters a touch more consistent, I can actually see a deep, meaningful story playing out against this rich mythology. Tentacleino, I have no idea how the hell you could save this movie, of course unless you light it on fire, or even what the filmmakers were trying to do with it. So, which is worse? Tentacleino. Oh, and just in case anyone's wondering, Team Jacob all the way. Which is worse, Tentacleino or Garbage Pail Kids? Garbage Pail Kids was kind of doomed from the start since it was based on trading cards that had absolutely nothing to them but gross-out humor. Say what you will about the graphic sensationalism of the Mars Attacks cards, but at least they had some kind of story to them. So when they thought of making Garbage Pail Kids into a movie, it really had nowhere to go.
Don't shake hands with messy Tessie.
Fooled ya! I'm Wendy Winstead!
Thank you for that.
An eyeball a day keeps a doctor away.
No, thank you. I'm a vegetarian.
Have a finger.
Tentacleino, on the other hand, has its roots in one of the most tragic and cautionary tales in our modern era. The creative minds behind the Titanic thought that what they created was bigger than Jesus, and the Titanic herself didn't even complete her maiden voyage, taking 1,500 passengers with her. This is a really compelling story, which is why it's been adapted for the screen as often as it has been. And because this is such a great story, Tentacleino had to include this!
I swear, if something bad happens to my friends, I'll rip every tooth out of that shark and I'll make them into the most beautiful necklace you've ever seen!
So, which is worse? Tentacleino. Which is worse, Tentacleino or the true story of Puss in Boots? I have already gone into enough detail in my review for the true story of Puss in Boots, but to paraphrase, it's decently animated, haphazardly written, and confusingly voice-acted. But to its credit, it did have some genuinely likable characters in it. The Chamberlain makes for a great vaudevillian villain for how completely ridiculous he is, and I really felt sympathetic towards the ogre, who really didn't want anything to do with anything going on in the movie, but was just kind of dragged into it in order to achieve his dream of turning into a swan. But Tentacleino? Every character, and I do mean every character, is so rock stupid that you wish you could just hand them over to Judge Doom. Which is worse? Tentacleino. Which is worse, Tentacleino or Space Thunder Kids? Some of you may be familiar with the crossover review that Spoonie and Sage did for Space Thunder Kids. For those of you who haven't seen that review and are asking yourselves, what's Space Thunder Kids? I wish you nothing but good luck in finding out, because I have no idea myself. You know how Ed Wood would use stock footage in his movies, whether or not it made any sense?
Hold the string! Hold the string! A mistake's made.
Imagine that same practice, but with absolutely no new footage to string the stock footage together. That's what Space Thunder Kids is. A series of used clips from old Korean TV shows and movies all spliced together into one single movie. The end result is as much of a mess as you can imagine, with character designs and situations changing almost seemingly at random. So basically, to make a coherent story out of that would take a miracle that even God himself would have a hard time pulling off. But Tentaclino? It was written, storyboarded, animated, and edited exactly as it was intended to be. So which is worse? Say it with me now, Tentaclino. Which is worse, Tentaclino or The Human Centipede 2? Now, I'm not usually one for slasher films. I'm more of a psychological thriller kind of guy. So the prospect of watching a slasher film where the victims end up stitched together ass to mouth isn't exactly the highest on my list of priorities. So yeah, I was cringing all throughout this movie, sure, but it's a horror movie. If I'm not cringing through it, the movie's failing. I was cringing all throughout Tentaclino too, and this is supposed to be a whimsical kids movie. Which is worse? Tentaclino. And thus concludes our first installment of Which is Worse. And Tentaclino is still the reigning king of crap. But is it the worst movie of all time? Well, I guess you'll just have to tune in for our next installment next year. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in my next review.
You know there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so. Don't sweat it, forget it, enjoy the show.
Working all day, now it's time to unwind. Kick back, relax, take a load off your mind. I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing cause it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Just leave your troubles at the door, leave your worries behind. Leave the rest up to me, you're gonna like what you find. I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time. It's party time.